Hey guys, new champion reveal? Let's react to it. Nasus, yep. Okay. Ascended, new keyword, slay. I can already guess what that's going to be. Nasus is stacking. Oh, I see that my camera is in front of the card. Nasus, I have +1/+1 for each unit you've slain this game, so it doesn't even have to be him. When I strike for 10 plus damage, level up. Yep. That's the Nasus I know from League. Okay.
What good?
When you slay a unit, grant me +1/+0. Okay. It is a fearsome, it's pretty interesting. Oh, okay. You can slay your own units. That's pretty cool, actually. Alright. Actually, let me make my count a little bit bigger again, if I can. An ally strikes a unit. If it dies, grant ally champions everywhere +2/+2. Whoa. That's one hell of a single combat. That effect, though. Oh, here we go. I have +1/+1 for each unit you've slain this game. Enemies have -1, -0. Fearsome and Barrier. This art is sick, though. What the hell? Okay, I mean, that's kind of straightforward. Let's see that level 3. That's what I'm waiting for. Oh, I love those like beetles crawling around. Oh man, okay. So he's going to promote a pretty like combat heavy deck. Wait, what just happened? Wait, I didn't see what happened. Oh, he leveled up. Okay, so what's the level 3? I can see a sun disc on the Nexus. Oh my god. I have +1/+1 for each unit you've slain this game. Enemies have -3, -0. But why is the next? Oh, does the Nexus just turn into a sun disc when the countdown goes down to 0 from 25? Because I haven't noticed that before. Okay, -3, -0, and a 10 cost. Okay, I mean, it's really good, but Nasus seems pretty simple. He's like Shurima's Garen, kind of. Definitely not a bad thing, but also not what I expected. Alright, so let's wait for the Mobalytics card to be revealed, and then we'll do another review of them. I'll see you guys there. Hey guys, so here we are with all the cards that got revealed in the Nasus package, and he seems to support some kind of synergies with killing your own units, most likely with Shadow Owls, but he also seems to be pretty focused on combat and killing your enemy's units, but it's kind of weird because Nasus has Fearsome, so he doesn't really prey upon like the smaller creatures that would be easy slay stacks. So I'm really interested where this is going. It definitely seems like all these cards would go great in a Shadow Owl deck, but we haven't seen most of the cards yet that got revealed in this expansion, so I'm guessing there will be an SI champion that will go well with Nasus. However, if Nasus were to exist in the game right now, I am not really sure how good he would be, because gaining +1/+1 for each unit you've slain this game is not always like in an endure deck. I could kind of see this. Nasus will be really big, and honestly, the first thing I thought of when I saw his level 6 was it's going to be at least a 10/10 or 11/11 when he levels, I guess, with Spell Shield. So Atrocity will almost always deal its damage. So seems like we're going to get some kind of Endure deck without Endure, but just like the Shadow Elf Sacrifice package with Nasus. I actually think that could be a pretty legit deck. That champion has always only ran one champion in Kalista, but I think with Nasus, the deck might actually finally feel complete instead of just random cards that don't sound like they should be good, throwing a deck together and actually functioning from time to time. It's been one of the best decks in the game for a long time. It had to get nerfed a couple of times. But if we're going to go this direction, I like Nasus much, much more than They Who Endure. So much cooler. Okay, so Nasus. Right now, I don't think he's very good. I don't think Nasus by himself is that good. The fact he has to strike also feels so weird if you're going to be playing him with SI. Even though he does have the Siphoning strike to sometimes get that attack in, and obviously grant allied champions everywhere, +2/+2 could be pretty good. But it is champions, so it's not like you give all your small minions that are usually in an Endure deck +2/+2. So still super hard to evaluate. But if I saw Nasus like this, I would give him a 2. Because I think you have to do too much work for kind of a payoff with like a big unit with no overwhelm. And we've seen in the past that that usually just doesn't get there. Like, think of Nautilus. Nautilus doesn't have overwhelm, he only has fearsome and tough. I haven't actually talked about Nasus level 3, by the way, because honestly, it's kind of overkill, and not nearly as cool as Renekton's level 3. It's just the same, except enemies have -3, -0. Obviously a very good effect, but I don't think you're going to need it to win the game. If you're going to play a Sun Disc deck, I don't think you necessarily need Nasus for this. I think Renekton is actually a way better finisher because of the overwhelm and the fact he does 2 to everything. Nasus is more of a controlling card in that deck, but then as a control card, you also have to like kill stuff to get him big enough. I don't know, it feels weird. It feels really strange. Even that card where you level all your level 1 champions to level 2, the 7 mana slow spell, that doesn't even work that well on Nasus because he's still going to be small. He needs to actually slay units to get bigger. I really hope my initial impression gets changed when we see an accompanying champion with Nasus. Not that we've seen one for Renekton so far, but Renekton seems like he's more of a champion that can stand by himself and be pretty good. And then Nasus' Siphoning Strike, his champion spell. I think this card is really, really bad. It's a 5 mana slow spell, and it's basically single combat, but if you win that combat, you grant ally champions, it's not units, it's champions, +2/+2 everywhere. That just doesn't really seem like it's that good. Even if you want to like progress your Nasus faster without slaying, but just giving him +2/+2 if you win that combat. I don't know. I don't see it. This seems terrible. Maybe, okay, so region difference, I can't compare this to single combat, because single combat just belongs in Demacia, and the region is basically made for it, for like that combat simulation, and Shurima isn't really like that. So it might be stronger, slightly stronger, because it's in Shurima, but I just don't think this card does anything for the region right now. I think this will be the first one. It's overcasted, it's slow, the effect is kind of irrelevant. Unless Shurima really needs like some kind of conditional removal, then maybe. But if that's really what they need, then you should just find a better region pairing. And so far, this just looks to be an SI deck. So if you really want some clean removal, just take Vengeance. Just take Ruination. Ruination, like, if the Ruination clears the board, you're going to get plenty of Slay stacks too. So I think, yeah, this is just a 1. Seems like a terrible card. I wouldn't even be happy that this was Nasus' champion card. Honestly, this seems like the weakest champion revealed so far. I hope something makes him insane, but we'll have to see. Okay, Rite of Calling. Kill an ally or destroy one of your mana gems to draw a champion. The one synergy that I'm seeing right now is with Undying. I wonder if that's the deck that I already gave Nasus like a 4, and The Siphoning Strike a 1, but Undyings are just a meme. You're not going to make a good deck because a bad card gets some support. I'm sorry for calling Undying bad, by the way. I'm not a fan. But Rite of Calling is pretty interesting. I think Rite of Calling is still not that great. The fact it's slow also doesn't really help its cause. Shurima seems to be the region that has the easiest access to actually drawing their champions with their allegiance cards. Now, this Rite of Calling. I think this is still a 4. Entreat should technically be insane, but it's not. And I think this might be a worse Entreat because it's slow. So it's not like you can do the combat tricks like some people do with entreating Anivia and then getting the harsh wins if they already have Anivia on the board. And destroying one of your mana gems is just not really that great. I don't even think that card, Unworthy, is good enough to sacrifice your mana crystals for. But right next to that, I'm already spotting a pretty insane looking card. 1 mana 1/2 Bakai Reaper, Fearsome. When you slay a unit, grant me +1/+0. This honestly seems really, really good. Because this, if you don't have to attack with this every turn. It's basically like a Precious Pet with an upside. Because 2 health is better than 1. And it can grow. Even if you give this +1 or +2 attack, it's going to be crazy good. In Shurima aggro decks, I think this will see play everywhere. Shurima also has the debuffing cards, which makes Fearsomes really valuable. Shurima also has the debuffing cards, where you give enemy units minus attack, and Bakai Reaper seems insane in those type of decks. You can, like, remove 2 blockers with a card like Exhaust. I actually think that Fearsome aggro with Shurima is going to be pretty legit because of a card like Bakai Reaper and Exhaust and the Ruthless Predator card too. No wait, that's not the one. The Quicksand, that's the one. Quicksand. So I'm going to give this one a 4 because aggro will be very happy with this card. A 4 mana slow spell. Weight of Judgment. Deal 2 to a champion or 7 to a follower. Wow. Okay, that's some flexibility there right there. 4 mana, deal 7 to a follower. That's already quite good. Deal 2 to a champion, that's just the flexibility that comes with it. How often do you want to deal 2 damage to a follower though? There's to a champion, I mean. There's Twisted Fate. Yeah. That's about the only one you can... Maybe Teemo, but for 4 mana, that's... You know, they're probably gonna be ready with a Troll Chant or something. Still, I kind of like the flexibility here. I think this is at least a 3. So far, direct removal or targeted direct removal seems really valuable for Shurima. Seems pretty premium. So that might make this card like barely good enough. It's going to be a 3 for me here. Because in the right deck, I think this could see play. Rampaging Bakai. 5 mana Overwhelm, 4/6. Play if you slain 4+ units this game, an enemy and I strike each other. With a play effect, so you can choose. Okay. That seems pretty good too. That's another piece of removal for Shurima. You have to meet the condition first though, but I think this is kind of good. The Overwhelm doesn't happen, right? If they strike each other. It's like a single combat, kind of. This will definitely see play in Nasus decks. Because it interacts with the board and it is Overwhelm. This might actually be a 3 as well. There, another 3. Could be good in the right deck. Seems like Shurima right now is kind of looking for that direct removal. Instead of just using the debuff card to make something vulnerable and pull in the right trade. So yeah, I'm happy giving this one a 3. Some decks will be very happy with that option. Not much to say. This whole package seems pretty straightforward. We've seen some crazy stuff with Talia and their landmarks, Lysandra and giving your Nexus tough, Jarvan being able to be summoned from burst speed, and others Nasus. the doggo. Just simple stuff. Slay, give me +1/+1. If he wasn't 6 mana, I think he'd be quite good. He'd be like a Garen kind of with an upside. Or, you know, Garen with an upside. I mean, a Garen that can keep growing. They definitely nailed his league flavor, but I'm just not too happy with how simple this whole package is, and that the payoff doesn't really seem enough for what you have to do for it. Okay, 7 mana burst spell, Spirit Fire. Give enemies -2, -0, and round end deal 2 to me this round. That's like an Ice Quake kind of, except it's also delayed. So this is Nasus's E, the broken ARAM spell. Spirit Fire. This kind of looks like the Ravine, I think, the 4 mana landmark in Freljord that heals for 4 and deals 2 to everything at the start of next round. But you can kind of like delay your opponent's advances with the -2. This could also be really good in like fearsome decks actually. A burst speed -2 is pretty good. That's like a frenzied skitterer. Except you can like open attack with it. Oh, this card also, this does not seem bad at all. In the right deck, this will definitely make a lot of sense. And it actually seems like the fearsome keyword on Nasus is kind of like a bonus. I don't think he needs it, but it will actually get him some closing power in a region like Shurima. So that's super interesting. I'm giving it a 3 for now. I can't see this type of deck coming together just yet. But the pieces are kind of there in a way. So maybe if we, like I said, I keep bringing this up, but maybe if we see other cards that actually make sense with this could not be as bad or as simple as it seems. So kind of feels bad doing a review like this when we don't know everything yet. But I'm just judging these cards based on their individual power. I will be streaming tomorrow, and I'm hoping for another reveal. And maybe then these cards will make a lot more sense. It's kind of what happened with Talia and then Lysandra afterwards too. So you can catch me tomorrow during the reveal times, and then hopefully we'll have a lot more to talk about. Alright, with that quick disclaimer out of the way, let's look at what looks to be the last card. Sanctum Conservator. 8 mana, 8/5. Play if you've slain 13 plus units this game, kill all enemy followers, then summon a copy of me. Wow. Kill all enemy followers, but you have to slay 13 plus units. How often is They Who Endure like a 14/14? Not actually that often until much later in the game. So what if you play a control deck and you ruinate like a full board and you do some basic stuff before that? Would this be active? This is super interesting because it's like another 8 mana board clear if you've been playing a control plan beforehand. This might be a card that control Shurima decks are very happy with. I also think this card makes a lot of sense in a Nasus deck. Wow. This card actually seems like it's one of the better ones out of the bunch. I would rate it a 4 if I could see a control Shurima deck working, which I don't. Talia is not a control card. Renekton is not a control card. Nasus seems to be somewhat of a control card, like a payoff, like a super late game payoff with a massive threat. It's going to be difficult to block, especially with an atrocity in a deck, forcing you to deal with it or it'll close the game on you. So, okay, if we had control pieces for Shurima, I would give it a 4. But since I haven't seen those yet, it's a 3. A lot of 3s again, just like a whole wave of 3s. Let's line them up. Oh, that's my entire screen. Here. Let's make them kiss. Because I love myself. Alright, so those are the ratings for now. I'm kind of playing it safe again, except I did dish out the very first 1 star. I hope I didn't upset too many people by being so harsh on Ascended Nasus. I'll talk about it more on stream tomorrow during the reveal time. So if you guys want to catch me there, I'd really appreciate it. For now, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.